21.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Murderess Podcast. The three of us are all back together again. Ray made it back from Chicago alive. I want to wish a big how are you. I'm going to adjust my seat here a little bit here for you people who are watching us on YouTube. For those of you who keep downloading and listening and sharing the podcast on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening. Thank you guys so much. You guys are so dope. We appreciate you. If you want to see our three beautiful brown chocolate faces, you can do that by going to Sidney Smith Creative on YouTube and checking us out there. You trust me, you will get quite the sight. Ray is wearing this T-shirt and this hat that I'm not even gonna tell you what it says. You have to go Sidney Smith Creative on YouTube and check out this week's podcast to see it. All right, with all that said, no further ado. What's good, people? How you guys doing?
What's good?
How you doing? God damn it, how you doing?
How you
How your mama doing?
How you doing?
Your mama doing?
Good.
so this week is Ray's turn. Ray's got the story locked and loaded, ready to go. But as we do on this podcast since the inception, we fuck around a little bit at the top of it. So again, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for sharing it. And thank you folks who are part of the Patreon. You guys help keep the lights on. Ray, I know you've been chomping at the bit to talk about some shit, man. So I got to hear it. We got to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was in Chicago this weekend, okay? And because I had to go for work. Now, I did not need to go on this work trip, but because it was Chicago, I was like, I better get on this trip, okay? And for whatever reason, they allowed me to go on Saturday, okay? Now, the office ain't open until Monday, but they allowed us to go on Saturday. Now, did I plan the flight? Yes, I did. Did I get the rental car? Yes, I did. And did I get in them motherfucking streets? Yes, I did. Okay?
For our folks out there, I don't care. I would normally 20 years ago I would say for our Caucasian listeners, but this could, be for anyone. For anyone who's not used to some of the lingo that Ray is using in them streets. He was out there doing grown folk stuff, bending corners and whatnot.
Ooh, I was bending corners and dropping shoulders. Okay, I was okay. I was out there. Okay, so I met my friend out there, and so we went. We had some drinks, and by some drinks, I mean I had 6 tequila shots and 3 or 4 margaritas. Okay. Ooh, they wasn't ready. I ain't been in Chicago in over 10 years. Okay.
Now let me ask you something. When you were having these drinks,
I was going to ask you that.
I'm from the Midwest, so I've been to Chicago quite a few times. Were you downtown having these drinks and whatnot?
Yeah. I was in Boys Town. I was in Boys Town.
Boys Town.
Where the men is. Okay. That's where I was. Okay. I knew what I was doing. Okay. All right. So, and when I go out of town, I still try to work on my fitness a little bit, So I decided, my friend told me, you should try and go to Steamworks. It's a gym. Well, when I go to Steamworks, because they say it's a gym, and I walk in, I was like, why is all these men naked? I was shocked. I really wasn't, because I knew exactly what it was, because I did the motherfucking research and I have been wanting to go. Okay?
Hold
it
on,
was a bathhouse.
I gotta stop. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say. So no equipment, just nude dudes. So it was a bathhouse there.
Well, no, they have equipment there so it can maintain the status as a gym, but it was that old Bally Victani equipment. Okay? That Raquel Welch did the commercials on back in 1981. Okay, so it was that equipment. It was dust and shit all over that equipment. Okay, the gym is this big. Okay? It was this big.
August, why you making that face, August?
Like that ain't that's the gym from the Roman Empire gym. That's what it sounds like.
You can get a workout. You can get a workout. You can get a workout. Okay.
Bunch of old dudes with the curly mustaches and shit throwing the medicine ball back and forth.
Yeah, he was in there with Jack LaLanne. I'm old.
That's the name I'm looking for.
It was ejaculate. You know what? I ain't even gonna say it. Do what I mean. Okay.
we know.
Woo.
But while I was there,
Wow.
my original intention was to go and do some open mic comedy while I was there.
Yeah.
And I did an open mic on Sunday, and it went really, really well. But my goal, my dream, was to go and do the Laugh Factory on Tuesday. They have an open mic there. Now, it's a lottery
Got
at the
those
Laugh
lotteries.
Factory.
Got those lotteries.
Ooh, honey, I put my name on 2 of them slips. And it was 50 people outside, and they only draw 10 names. Okay.
Ooh.
So guess whose name didn't get picked? So I went to another open mic and got me a pork chop sandwich while I waited for that open mic.
Well, okay,
And
so
in my lack of enthusiasm, I made a fool of myself on that little stage and left. Okay. And then I went back to the gym, and then I got me a White Castle and went home. Okay.
Oh, you went back to the bathhouse.
The spa. They call it a spa. Okay.
Dude, they call it a spa. Yo,
It's a spa.
Did you at the factory? So you didn't stay to check out any of the show at all?
I didn't. Okay. But because we failed at we might have to go back to retest. I might be going back in June, and I developed a system. Okay, because you know when you have the tickets and you tear them and you keep one piece and you put the other piece in the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Them motherfuckers learned that you put the whole ticket in, and when he grabs it, he's grabbing the bigger pieces because it's easier for him to grab. So I'm gonna do that the next time. I'm putting the whole ticket in the bucket. I'm putting 3 tickets with my name on it in the bucket, so my name can be drawn out. Okay, because I want my 7.5 minutes on that stage. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you. Was it, and sorry for our listeners or viewers, 3 of us are comics. By the way, we did something new this week. We've added our handles for IG. So you can find me at Sidney Smith Creative. And then you can find August at comedian August.O'Neal. And then Ray Earl, you can find it at Ray Earl Comedy. So we want to make sure we put that out there. Ray, did you have an opportunity to meet anyone, like the guy who runs the mic? Anything like that? Or I should say the guy or girl who runs the mic, anyone like that?
I did not. And you know what? In my upsetness for not getting on the open mic, I left almost immediately after my name wasn't called.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, I should have stayed, okay?
Yeah, stay there, network.
I should have stayed there and networked.
You know what I love about our friendship?
Instead of trying to twerk.
You know what I love about our friendship? I didn't even have to say it. You already knew where I was going with this just based off my question. So I love it. I love
business.
Business.
Nigga, you had the pen in your hand. I knew where you was going. Okay, you was about ready to read me. Okay, I know what's going on.
No.
Okay, I seen it.
No, I would never read
That's
you.
funny.
Not on the podcast.
Yeah,
when the cameras is off, the tough love comes out. Okay.
And even this sensitive love. I say tough love for people with no talent who are bothering me. if you guys can see, I love when this means different things to different people. But if y'all can see my DMs from the comics, just like the shit they send me to look at and the questions that I get, I'm like, I'm over it.
That's what you should just start saying. My phone was disconnected this weekend. Okay.
I wish that was an option on Facebook or IG.
Just disconnected.
Man. Golly.
What's up, August? What you gonna say?
No, I said I wish it could be a disconnect on Facebook. That's what I was saying.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it sounds like a good trip. I mean, you went out there, you tried, you learned some lessons from it, and you get to go back. So, hey.
Oh yeah. I was like, well, thank God we failed. Thank God we failed, because I'm going back. Okay.
When do you go back?
It'll probably be in June.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be quick. We had to put that.
Okay.
We had to put it up. We had to take it down, and it was just all a mess. Okay, I'm probably the next time gonna focus less on the penis and more on the comedy. Okay,
Hey man,
but
Yeah,
I was just
I
trying to
mean,
get my feet. I was just trying to get my feet wet.
that's not how that works.
No,
No.
you could just jump into Lake Michigan over there. Got your
okay.
feet
Yo,
wet.
your feet have been in fucking some boots long enough that
Oh yeah.
you ain't no fresh off the boat motherfucker.
I
Talking
ain't no
about
spring chicken.
get my
I ain't no
feet
spring
wet.
chicken. Okay. Because I'm
Yeah,
gonna show up tell you.
just
When I
summer
went to that
hen.
restaurant,
Just
I
summer
saw a pork
hen.
chop on the menu. I was like, "Give me that pork chop," you know. That was some old country shit. Okay, I was like, "Oh, give me that pork chop,"
I was
and you put it between two pieces of bread. I want it.
so that is so Detroit by way of down south.
Mm-hmm.
That's right there with sugar sandwiches and barbecue sandwiches, barbecue
Oh
sauce
my!
sandwiches.
I'm
One of the
country
guys
north. That's what it is.
one of the guys I work with, he's going noodling this weekend, and he has
Oh, I've heard of
and I said,
that.
what the hell is
Yeah,
noodling?
what is that?
And then he also has a 4,000 pound bull with bad ankles that keeps getting stuck in his pond. Oh, his name is Bud. Child, I lost it. He lives in Mississippi, so I'm gonna go down there and visit him.
Oh
Do
well, I hope
do
you
a
don't
little
go
podcast
noodling.
show.
Okay.
What is noodling?
Oh
I don't
no,
know what
I
that
am
is.
not.
What is it?
Where you catch the fish with your hands and just go down there and just hey,
Oh,
So
catfish, and
yes,
it's just like
so
that.
yes, so the catfish,
Ugh.
they have these mud holes or whatever they hide in or whatever, and then you gotta take your hand, you gotta reach on in there, and then you grab it and then you
Yes,
pull it out. But see, there's a problem because in some of like Kentucky or Mississippi, they was trying to ban it because what happens is some of them catfishes get real big
that's right.
and they reach onto the
Yep,
hand, they
yep,
pull the motherfuckers through the hole. Okay, see, you don't
yep.
want to do that because if you get pulled through the
He's in
hole,
Mississippi.
you're drowned. Okay, you
he
don't want
said
to
he said one
reach
time.
on in there and get drowned and pulled in.
please,
Okay,
please,
Yep,
please, people who are
yep.
listening to us right now, if you've never watched one episode of Murderous
At
Podcast
least
on
watch
YouTube,
one.
just watch this one, if no other one, so you can see what it looks like when Ray Earl
Right.
plays out when the catfish pulls you into the water.
well,
Mm-hmm.
some motherfuckers need to be visual. Okay, someone need to see this.
What's
You know,
going
and
on?
that's not. And you know what? That's not very much different of what happened at the Steamworks this weekend either. Okay, it's not that much different of what if
Yes,
a
it
nigga
is.
wanna go noodling, let him go noodling.
I,
Okay.
hey, I was getting ready to bring up some things from my former life, Ray.
Mm, mm, mm,
Like
Oh,
yo,
mm,
oh, was
mm,
you
mm.
noodling?
oh yeah, you like yo, what the hell was in
What
there?
the
I
fuck?
know.
Okay.
What the hell was that?
And then he talked about mountain oysters, and I had to Google
Mhm.
all this stuff. And I said, I'm gonna come down there and do my show with you. Do y'all know what mountain oysters are?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I
There was a
didn't.
movie with Chevy
Rocky Mountain
Chase.
oysters.
Uh-huh. There was
So,
a movie with
That's
Chevy
nasty.
Chase. Mm-hmm.
That's
was that
nasty.
was that Fletch?
Ugh. Fletch was my
It
favorite, one
was
of my
it
dad's
was the
favorite movies, but
one
I don't remember that.
it was the one where he was writing a book upstate somewhere.
Oh, it wasn't okay. It
And
wasn't Fletch.
uh-huh.
Uh,
I ain't
Mountain
eating no
oysters.
balls.
Blech,
I ain't eating no balls.
blech. And then he has boiled peanuts and not hog maws, but something else. I said, what the fuck do y'all be eating out there? I gotta
let's
put you on
back
my
up. Let's back up. Did you say boiled peanuts or penis?
that's boiled peanuts.
Okay.
Nuts. Nuts.
Ray, was it?
And
Was I
neckbone.
alone?
That's
Did
what
it
it
sound
is.
like you said boiled penis?
No, that's what it sounds like. But
I was like,
I want to ask you,
Sorry.
did you meet this man this year or 1972? Okay, which one was
That
it? Okay,
they
this
got a
a country
farm and
man.
very country. His name is Darius.
Hmm
Oh, he is so funny. And he says he
He
makes
picking you
Jewish
up from the
sandwich.
airport in a John Deere. Okay.
No, sir. I'm getting my rental.
Okay. Shit.
real quick for the folks out there who are listening, if you guys want to join the Patreon, check out some of the stuff we have there. It's really easy. Sidney Smith Creative, the number 8TIV.com, and just click the Patreon tab. Super easy, super easy. All right. Before we get to Ray's story, I did want to ask you guys, did you guys, because my boy Dorian Courey, uh, my co-host from my other pod, Now It's Debatable,
Yeah.
sent me the story, or did I send it to him? I think he sent it to me. Anyway, did you guys see that those 3 folks who got caught recorded talking about lynching black people?
That's what I heard. One of them was a coach or
Well,
somebody, a football coach.
well, there is a coach from a few days ago. I think he's a strength coach
Okay.
at the University of Georgia, who was talking
Yes.
shit about black people in Atlanta, dropping an N-bomb
Oh, so there's
all over the
another
place.
one.
But these
Okay.
3 people, it was the sheriff, the deputy sheriff,
Oh.
and the jail administrator. Administrator. Talking about black folks, talking about they wish they can lynch him. One was saying he would like to get some hitmen to take out some of their enemies. I don't know who recorded it, but they recorded it. The recording's been sent to the FBI and to the state's attorney general for so that it can be authenticated. But these dudes are going to be in a whole world of hurt. Whole world.
What city was this in, or county? Where was
This
at?
was in McCurtain County, Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma.
Well, let them talk about that shit in Oklahoma. Is any
Let
of
me go
y'all
and pick
trying
my
to go
grass.
to Oklahoma? Okay.
What you say? What's that, Ray?
Now,
Any one of us trying to go to Oklahoma? I ain't trying to go to one of them middle states. Okay.
No, but
Ain't
you.
I'm
shit
just trying to
popping
go get
off
me
in
some
Oklahoma.
oysters.
Now, I get it,
It's
but
still
you
the
know
sheriff.
what? We can't.
Yes,
I
but
get
this
it.
is
I know
what
it's
they do.
bad,
Is the
but what do you expect in Oklahoma?
I didn't say I was
they fuck their
surprised.
cousins.
I didn't say I was surprised.
Wait a minute. What about Ralph Yarl? What about that little boy that got shot by that old man?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't happy. I lost my shit on Facebook this weekend. Someone said, "Oh, I love you, but I know you trying to get booked, and this is not you, and I know you mad. You should probably just take it down." I said, "I'm gonna take it down, but I'm gonna let it stay up for a few hours." Because I was like, "Man, fuck y'all." I was upset. That baby that's
But
terrible.
Well, let's not
Beyond.
forget
but
about.
thank God,
Go ahead.
Yes.
he's at home recovering right now.
And
Already.
and that's why I was going to
Yes,
bring up
yes, yes.
the other thing too, the other story here
Yeah.
recent. I can't think of her name off the top, but don't forget about the white young girl, 20 years old, who
Yes.
got shot and killed
Got shot.
because she was trying to turn around, pulled in someone's driveway because she was trying to turn around because she was lost, and this dude shot from the porch.
But that wasn't racially motivated.
They didn't say it was.
But it still sucks.
Yes, it doesn't.
Okay,
I
but
don't.
it still sucks.
I don't care if it's racially motivated. The madness of it all, that you would shoot somebody from your porch because they're trying to turn around. To me, I'm gonna put it right there next to you. Gonna shoot this young man because he's at your door.
Yes.
Yeah,
These people are fucking nuts.
Absolutely nuts.
Well, did you hear about the third one? About the
COVID.
girls the cheerleaders accidentally getting into the wrong car
Yes.
at the gas
Yes.
station in Texas.
And
the guy shot and killed that
What?
one girl.
Yeah.
No, critically injured. She's critically injured there.
Oh,
One
I
got
thought he killed her.
shot and released. No, she was just critically injured.
Okay.
Yeah, she was critically injured. And then I was reading the comments, and it was like, "Oh, this world is going crazy. This world is going crazy." I'm like, "No, this shit is America. Okay, this is United States going crazy. Okay."
Yeah, it's crazy out there. And if
I did not hear about that. What city was that in?
That was in Texas. Like,
Yeah, I just saw that
north
this
of
morning.
What city was that in?
Yeah, if you guys.
So wait, I have a question.
Oh, yeah,
Were they taking a lift, Sidney or Ray? Were they taking a lift or something? Like,
no, it was. I think it was just a friend's car, and she just got confused and just got in the wrong car by accident. Yeah.
And it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's done it.
It happened to my mama back in 1998 when she went to pick me up from the movie theater, and it was snowing, and this white woman got in her GMC Jimmy by mistake, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry," and she got out. She didn't shoot her.
Yeah.
No.
It can happen to anyone.
was the guy scared? Was he planning on killing somebody else? How you just say? Oh, wait a minute! Pow!
I mean, if you look at the picture, you can see that he if you look at the picture, you know he ain't getting no pussy. Okay, so he was just.
Oh.
All right then. So,
Now it's time to start the show. Time to
Okay,
start
he
the
had
show.
one of them low eyes. Okay, that one eye was looking real low. He was looking real. I was like, man. I mean, I'm be honest. Pussy can solve a lot of problems, and that's all he really needed.
and that's and for you to say that, that's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Mm-hmm.
let's go ahead. All right, so Ray's got the story this week. Thank you guys for listening and letting us come together. We ain't talked in about a week, so thank you guys for listening to us just chit chat
Yeah.
before we jump into the
Mm-hmm.
story. Ray Earl, who you got, baby? What's going on?
You know, I love a good story that's salacious. Okay, that's one of my favorite words. Okay, I love it. Okay,
I think you've used it for as an adjective for both of your fucking stories you've done so far. So go ahead.
Yeah.
every story I find is gonna be salacious. Okay,
Salacious.
okay. So this is the story of Dorian Courey. She arrived in New York City from Buffalo in the 50s to attend the Parsons School of Design. Now, what makes this story is very similar to the last story I told, but I'm going to give you the background up front. Dorian Courey was actually born as Frederick Legg June 6th of
Oh Lord.
1937. Okay.
How do you keep
But
finding these stories?
they salacious. I
Okay,
look for
okay, all right.
I Google salacious murders, and this is what I find. Okay.
Mm, 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 mm.
So Dorian
Mm,
Courey
mm, mm.
was born as Frederick Legg June 6th of 1937 in upstate New York. In the 50s, he moved from Buffalo to Manhattan to attend the Parsons School of Design. Now, he then became by so he left his family or whatever, and he moved to Manhattan to start the School of Design because he was kind of ostracized from his family for being gay and this was like the 40s and the 50s. Okay, so he moved to Manhattan, and when these people started to develop these friendships and these families, it helped create the ball culture. Okay, that a lot of us may not be familiar with, but some of you might know. Okay, ball culture, Madonnas and shit like that. So
Is that
he was
what that means? Is that what ball?
ball culture, voguing, and all that
Okay,
is kind of together.
okay,
Okay,
got you. August's
so
face disappeared. I'm sorry, Ray. August,
yeah,
what happened to your face?
Oh,
get
sorry.
in
I was
front.
just leaning to the side. I was
Okay.
leaning to the
Okay,
side.
so what was exciting about this one is that he actually starred in the first documentary in 1968 called The Queen. Okay, and this is where it became so ball culture in the 60s and the 50s and 70s. It was geared more towards Black and Latino gay
Mm.
youth or whatnot. But the problem was when they had these balls in these pageants for the gay and the trans people, they were mostly judged by the white people. And there was a lot of racism in the ball culture. So these trans people of color decided to create their own houses. So that's why you had the house of Corey, and she was a house mother in the 60s and 70s and the 80s. Now,
And I want to make.
uh,
And I'm sorry, Ray. I just want to make sure I understand this because this is new stuff for me,
She,
and maybe new stuff for our audience members as well. So when you say they created their own house, is that saying that was like a actual house where a group of alternative people, lifestyle folks went and hung out at and felt safe? Is that what that means?
So the house, they call it a house, but it wasn't an actual physical house.
Okay,
Okay, this was just a group of people that they called a house, but it was just their family, their chosen family,
got you.
and there was always a house mother. Dorian Curry was the house mother of the House of Curry.
I
Okay,
got you.
and
Okay,
she helped be the founder of ball
oh, okay.
culture
Now I get it.
in the 60s, in the 70s.
got you.
Okay, and she was featured in the first documentary, The Queen, about drag queen pageants in 1968, way even before the Stonewall riots in 1969. Okay. Then again in 1990, she was the star of Paris is Burning, which is another documentary about drag called Drag Queen.
I heard about that one.
Yeah, that one I heard of.
You know,
Yep.
voguing Paris is Burning in
Yep.
1990.
Yep.
With the popularity of Paris is Burning in 1990, it went mainstream, and she was featured on Sally Jesse Raphael, The Joan Rivers Show, and then Madonna got wind to this and actually created Vogue, the video and the song, from this actual movie and the ball culture
Oh,
in
okay.
Manhattan in
Okay.
the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Okay.
Does Madonna give credit to all of that, to that community and to that house and everything?
She does. In the
Okay.
video and in the documentaries in the 90s, she references them all. Okay. A lot of the people that were in her video for Vogue were actual Voguers from those houses and whatnot, and actual dancers.
Okay.
So she did give credit to them, and that's why they loved her then, and a lot of people
She is
still
an
love her
absolute
now.
gay icon. Yeah.
She was
She's
an
an
actual gay
period.
icon. And like I said, because she was more popular than ever, she appeared in Joan Rivers. And then, like I said, she was born, like I said, male at birth, but she realized that she was actually female and began to live full time as a woman. Smart, witty, Dorian had a sharp tongue and could read you for filth. Now, if you watch Paris is Burning, she
Filth.
defines reading and she defines shade. Reading is, I'm telling you, you are ugly, okay? Shade is, I don't have to tell you you're ugly because you know that you're ugly. And that's an actual quote from Paris is Burning. Okay, you gotta watch it. You gotta see it. Okay? You gotta see it. I remember when this came on Logo TV in like 1999, and
TV.
I was too nervous to watch it at home that I turned it all the way down and walked up to the TV and put my ear to the speaker to watch it.
Wow.
Okay, this is
Wow.
how enthralled. Okay. As her fame grew, she began hosting drag and cabaret shows in New York City's and clubs such as Sally's. These events she hosted were attended by many clients. Yes, she was sort of a madam of sorts, okay? She brought together these straight men, okay?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of air
Straight
quotes.
men.
A lot of air quotes being used for people who are
these
listening to the
straight
pod.
men who were looking for a little piece on the side, okay, that they weren't getting at home, okay? Especially in the 80s and 90s. But as many of these drag mothers, these drag performers, these voguers, these member of the houses, unfortunately, they succumbed to, it was New York in the 80s and 90s.
I have a question, Ray.
Yeah.
Kind of not, and I'm interrupting your story here, but hey, that's what we do on Murderess Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I've known some friends. Obviously, you, my uncle-in-law is gay, and I've heard different things when it comes to straight men who for whatever reason don't want to come out and they go live in your world for a night or whatever it is. Have you ever
They're dabbling.
Have you ever had a conversation with one of them about why they don't do it and what is often the story behind that? Because I never, and I'm not saying it's easy, and I wasn't there when you came out, so I don't know what it was like for you. But to me, I'm like, this has got to be torture for anyone to not be able to live as you are. So what are some of the things that you've heard about that?
Sure, yeah, we've had conversations. Okay, but really what happened was this one that I had, and it was weird because he's straight, but we would have meetings every so often, and his partner, his girlfriend, actually knew. Okay, she was in on it. Well, she wasn't in on it. Okay, they tried that, but it wasn't working for me. Okay, I'm like, I'm not doing that. Okay,
Right.
Okay, this
Just
ain't for me, but you know what? That is for you. Okay, but anyway, but he just said, I like doing that, but I need to be with a woman. And I said, okay, you know what? I only got 20 minutes anyway. Let's do this and let's get this over with. Okay.
All right.
So anyway, so in
So he didn't want to. Oh, sorry. I had questions.
Go ahead.
So what? So he didn't consider himself gay? Did he consider himself bisexual?
He never considers himself gay. Never. And we've done some very gay shit. Okay, so but he's never considered himself gay.
Okay, I was
call him this weekend, see what he's doing. Okay.
All right. I was curious. All right.
Okay. But unfortunately, on August 29th of 1993, like many other people in the community, Dorian Courey succumbed to AIDS at 53 years old. Now, that was unfortunate. Well, when her friend came to clean out her apartment in Manhattan, when she was on her deathbed in the hospital, she said, go in, pick whatever you want, keep it, costumes, clothes, jewelry, whatever you want, keep it, but get rid of all the rest. When this friend went in and started cleaning out the house, the apartment, she found this trunk, okay? And she went to move this trunk, and it was too heavy. It was too heavy. So she opened the trunk, and there was a garment bag inside this trunk. So she couldn't move this trunk or even open this garment bag. So she got a pair of scissors, cut open this garment bag, and found the mummified remains of a man that had been in that garment bag. Okay. Now,
Wow.
when she left, because I know she was freaked the fuck out, I'm sure she grabbed a couple wigs before she ran out that apartment. But when she left,
Get on this and get this and get this.
because that was gonna be the last time I was gonna be in there. I mean, I'm still gonna get what I wanted, but I'm gonna call the police.
Mm-hmm.
So when they called the police, they got the remains, and they were like, these remains have been here for a very long time. How are we going to identify this person? So what they ended up doing was the medical examiner did his exam. The anthropologist, because the anthropologist, it was a mummy, so they had to do his exam, and they still couldn't figure it out. So what they ended up doing was they ended up finding a medical examiner who actually took the remains of the fingers, cut them off, and numbered each finger, and then they mixed a solution of bleach. Let me get it right. It was a mixture of bleach, some other chemical, and water, and they soaked the fingers in this solution and actually massage the fingers until they can get fingerprints from these
Oh
Prince.
wow.
fingers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, that's
So
a lot.
when they did that, they found out that the person who was in that trunk and in that garment bag, his name was actually uh, uh, Robert Worley, also known as Bobby Wells. Now, Bobby Wells he had this long rap sheet, okay? He had this long rap sheet that dated all the way back to the 60s. The detectives went to his surviving family members, his brother actually, in upstate New York, and they said, we found your brother, and we know that he is dead.
Dead.
His brother said, oh, well, we kind of figured he was dead because he was dating this drag queen back in 1968. And that's the last time that we saw him,
Wow.
okay?
Wow.
Was in 1968.
Ooh.
What they said was, we knew that Dorian was crazy because they would get together and they would drink heavily and they would always get into these fights. What they think is there was a lover's quarrels because when they did the examination of Robert, they found that he had a bullet wound to the head. Okay.
Wow.
Now, being that this is the 60s and the 70s, as a black trans person, they knew that even if Dorian had went to the police in self-defense, saying that he was threatening to
Mm-hmm.
kill me or he was beating me up, she would have had no sympathy. So what she did
Yeah.
was she killed him, wrapped him up in the body, wrapped the body up in the garment bag and in the truck,
Got back.
poured. Now, normally when you do this, you're supposed to use lye, but I don't think she knew that. So what she used was baking soda, and she just poured it all over the body, wrapped the body up in
Hot
this garment bag, closed the trunk up, and just push it off to the side. Now, what's interesting is that people who
bacon
were,
soda.
after I've read all these interviews and listened to all these documentaries, they said, well, the house did have a smell to it, okay, but we just thought it was the cats, okay?
Oh my
Not
gosh. I
knowing
was
the
saying,
whole time it was the mummified body of Robert Worley in this trunk.
Wow.
Now, it's even more crazy because when they went to go bury Robert Worley, because he was dead and now they had a body to bury him, his family didn't even claim the body. Okay,
What?
his
Why
family
not?
didn't even claim the body
Why not?
because he had been gone for so long, and I don't know that I did that I
Okay,
should have did a little
okay,
bit more research on.
no worries.
But they buried him at Hart Island, okay, and I guess that's like a mass graveyard for unclaimed bodies or whatnot. And when Dorian passed away in 1993, no one claimed her remains, and she was actually cremated, and they disposed of her remains as well. Now, if you go and you watch Paris is Burning, the movie, the
Mm-hmm.
documentary that came out in 1990, she is doing her makeup in her apartment for the majority of the movie when she does like her confessionals or her interviews. You see the trunk in the movie, okay?
Oh,
Not knowing the whole time that there's a body in there, okay? Now, the problem
Shut
is
up.
because
I gotta watch it now.
both
I'm gonna
of them
watch
are
it now.
dead, we don't know what officially happened. They're still trying to say that his murder is unsolved. But, bitch, come on. Now, we know better. Okay, she
yeah,
shot his ass.
yeah, yeah. What do you mean it's
Hmm.
unsolved?
Hmm. And that was actually, so I don't know if you guys are familiar
Oh
with the
my.
show that came on FX called Pose or whatever.
I
It was
don't.
about, so Pose was based
Oh yes,
on drag
that's where Billy
culture
Porter was
or
in, right?
whatever. So the character Electra was based on Dorian Courey, and she actually had a scene where she was
Mm.
trying to cover up the body of a client, and they sewed his body up in like latex and put him in a trunk in the closet, and that's where that story came from.
Wow.
And this is the show with Billy Porter, right? Billy Porter was in
Yes,
this show, Pose.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. I'm telling you, it was salacious. It was
He went crazy.
salacious.
So she just was living in the house, her apartment, with that body, having parties, people sitting on the trunk. That's
For
just, you're
25
nuts.
years. 25
Yeah, you're
years.
nuts.
And because his rap
Just
sheet
Judy been
was,
on that long. Just
yeah,
Judy been on that
yeah.
long.
And because his family just were like tired of him and his antics, when he went missing, they never went looking for him.
Well, I mean, it
So
says
Hmm.
something that when they found out that he had been murdered, no one wanted to claim the body. That says
no
something.
one wanted to claim the body, and he was buried at Hart Island in New York, and that's where unclaimed bodies get buried. Okay.
Was there ever a thought that Dorian, had killed more people? Was that ever?
No, no, because in all the interviews of the people who knew her
I
before
didn't think
and
she was
after,
gay.
they always said how sweet of a woman she was, how kind she was, how she was willing to open up her home to other people,
Mm-hmm.
how she created this family. They believe that it was either a lover's quarrel, the gone wrong,
Okay.
or Robert was trying to break into. It was a robbery gone wrong. But because since they're both dead, and it was so old, no one knows what
Speculation.
officially happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Like, well, I want to know where it happened. Man.
so you
I know.
had these two people, and Robert, the victim,
Mm-hmm.
was not on the he was not a righteous individual, but they were
No,
but they were a couple though, right?
they were a couple, and Robert's family knew that they were a couple.
So why would so where does the she, Dorian would have killed Robert because he was trying to break in? I mean, if they were a couple, I don't know why would that even be a
Were they?
thought.
That was
Maybe they were
that was
broken
spec,
up. Maybe some. Maybe.
that was speculation because
Okay.
that's what they were saying. That's what the detectives were saying. They were saying it was either, a break-in gone wrong. It was either or a lover's quarrel.
Hmm.
But because since they're both dead and there were no witnesses, there's no way of actually knowing. And his actual murder is still kind of unsolved because they don't know what happened because both
Or
parties are dead.
where it happened at.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do
Or
you spell
where
her name? How do you spell her name? I keep trying to look it up and I'm not finding the right person.
Dorian Courey. Oh, she got a Wikipedia.
Okay. See,
She She got a Wikipedia.
Curey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Now I
awesome.
gotta
Corey.
see what these people look. See what, see what these people looking like.
For the
She looks
whole
like
movie,
Lonnie Kazan.
for the whole movie, she's just in the mirror, just putting on her makeup. Reading
She's
came
Negro.
first, huh?
I was like, "See, you sure?
Reading came
You said she was
first.
black."
That yeah, she was black. She was black. Now that would be like me sitting here right now talking to you, and I got a trunk of a body sitting right here, okay? And I'm talking about, why don't you come on over for some chitlins? You don't know what's going on.
It's a crazy story because you live
Mm.
for how many years with this trunk in there with that smell. Now I know
Mm-hmm.
everybody else thought it was cats for some reason,
Mm-hmm.
but you know
Mm-hmm.
what that is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you never think about trying to move this thing or get this out of here or anything.
They said that it's speculation again because she's dead. They said if she tried to dispose of the body by throwing it in the river or whatever, like they normally do, with the mafia and shit,
Yeah.
it would have drawn too much attention to that body, and then they would have done too much of an investigation, and she probably would have been found out a lot sooner. So
Got you.
she just did what she had to do in the interim, and she was just like, they speculate that maybe she just wrapped the body up in that trunk and in that garment bag, and it was supposed to be temporary, thinking about what's my next step, and then she was just like, well, fuck it, ain't no one looking for him, so I'm just gonna keep it here.
The thing I do find
And look, this is what
humorous.
I. Oh, you
Go ahead,
can't
go ahead,
see what
go
I
ahead,
found.
August. Go ahead.
It's so there's a thing on New York. It says the drag queen had a mummy in her closet. It was like the
Yes.
front page article.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing I find, and Ray, you researched this and you kind of know the history and to a certain extent of her and the personality. She tells the friend, "Go get this, take what you want," but never says, "Hey, do you think that was on her mind at all? That if I send you to go look for this, you'll find that."
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. She was on her deathbed and she was probably trying to get that off her chest. She was
But
probably trying to
she
bring
should have
closure to
said
that
something.
thing.
Most people die and say something.
I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that counts when you get to see God. Well, I pointed him in the right direction. I didn't really.
Yeah.
you know,
Thank you.
she was probably sitting there, she was probably laying in that bed going, somebody will find his ass. Okay.
You,
Somebody will find him.
you know what that says to me? That does probably say to me that this probably was some type of crime of passion. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think even on the deathbed, she was still only half-heartedly like, yeah, you might want to find this motherfucker. Like, I think she still held some contentment.
That's terrible. She was
like,
upset.
but like while you laying in the deathbed, why you going in there getting my wigs and shit? It's a nigga in the cabinet over there. Okay.
You know how y'all
What you
thought
gonna
those was,
do?
y'all thought those was cats all these years.
You thought those was cats? No, it's
Cats.
a whole ass man in that trunk. Okay.
I'm I'm tripping too about all the parties
And
that she's been
I'm reading
throwing
the
over the
Wikipedia.
years, and
Mm-hmm.
the house smelled like something, and
Uh-huh.
y'all just waved it off like
Terrible.
it was cats, but still showed up to these parties. I wish they'd be
Mm-hmm.
going to these
That's
parties.
nasty.
That because now that makes me wonder if
That's
your
nasty.
house
I
is
would throw
funk.
up.
That makes me wonder now because if your house is funky now, like is you got bodies over here?
Uh, yeah, I'm not having
That's
any of these
nasty.
hors d'oeuvres either because I don't know your
Oh
house.
no.
I don't
And
like the way your house smell. I'm not having none of those
They
starbursts.
actually showed pictures of the mummified body when they pulled it out the trunk, and he was
let me
curled up
let
in
me look.
fetal position too. Okay,
Oh
so she
wow.
had she had to get him together and fold him up and put him in the garment bag. So it was even like that. She was probably embracing him as she was putting him away.
Was Dorian a large person, tall? Was it petite?
She's big.
Yeah, she was a big one.
I looked
He
Okay,
at.
was like tall.
She's a,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
but
Because
she does not look African American. I'm not seeing it. I guess I gotta read
Hmm.
it, but I don't.
well, because it ain't no easy thing to move a body dead weight.
Mm-mm.
So that's why I was
No.
asking.
But
Was
she's
was was she big?
And that was real dead weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Hmm.
yeah. She's still technically a man. So
Hmm.
I mean,
But still. But
Hmm.
still.
But here's another kicker too. I just found this out too. They said years later, probably like in the 80s or 90s, that she actually wrote a short story about a drag queen who killed and mummified a body. Okay, now
Right,
When did
what
she
you
write
know.
it? What's the date of? What's the date of it?
I
What's the
don't know
date of
because
it?
I heard that today, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, that makes it even better. Okay, so she was like confessing it through a short story.
Yes.
People was like, "Girl, you crazy." You know how we do. Oh well, you don't know how we do, but we'd be like, "Girl, you crazy." Okay, but she was telling the truth.
I don't know if it's confession or she just thought it was a business opportunity.
Like, yeah,
So again, at her end, she did not sound very remorseful. Like, go get them dresses, and you might find some
go get the
shit.
dresses,
You might find some
and you
shit
gonna
over there.
find something in that trunk.
Yeah,
But
some
I'm like,
shoes in there.
I'm reading everything. And she's a Gemini. You know, them Geminis is a little off. Just saying.
What?
She's born June. She was born June 6th, 1937. I always look at the signs, and them
Mm-hmm.
signs, Geminis are a little off.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good story, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That was good. And if I
Now I
may
gotta
say,
watch. Now I gotta watch Paris is Burning.
and if I may say, I love the presentation of it. I felt like the presentation this one is better than the last one. Nice work.
Thank you, thank you.
In my humble opinion. Now, I don't know what the audience thinks. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to leave us a nice review, or at least leave us 5 stars. I mean, we got 20 or 20. We have 55 stars, 50 of them. So
Oh yeah, that's good.
if you guys don't mind adding to it, we would love that.
And go watch Paris is Burning, and you'll see that trunk in the movie. Okay,
The
can
the
you
trunk.
imagine
Oh my god.
the cameraman who set up the
Jump.
equipment, going, "Oh, this house is a little funky," just sitting
Yeah.
there just filming them, and then like, because the movie came out in 1990, she died in 1993. You just sitting around one day eating a bowl of cornflakes, and then your headline news is drag queen dead body in the closet. Okay, and you sitting there going, motherfucker, that was me.
Let me look
Okay,
at my.
I filmed that shit. Okay,
Let me look at my footage.
I,
let me go roll this camera back.
Let me
Okay,
look at my footage.
you know, I'm thinking he thinking, oh, David owed me $20. I bet him
yeah,
$20 there was a dead body in this house. I got to go get my money.
yeah,
So,
because he was probably sitting there going, "Oh, that ain't no cat. That ain't no cat.
I know
That's
cats.
dead.
Now
That's
I gotta see what
dead
these people
body
look
and
like.
Arm and Hammer. Okay, Arm and Hammer.
I do love the fact that, and I think we only know Lime is what you use because we've lived and watched so many movies and documentaries. It's crazy that she didn't know, and she just thought, let me go get this shit that I would put in the refrigerator
Yeah, she went in her kitchen.
that
Yeah.
absorbs
She went in her
smell.
kitchen.
I like it. I like
Is
it. It
this
was
the
good.
Robert Worley? Is this? That was a good story. That's very interesting. I just never. Wow. I never even heard of her. Never
Mm-hmm.
All right,
heard anything like that.
for anyone out there who is not African American, I am going to say this to you. August, I've been trying to figure out the dynamics of the show because the show is different. Like I said before, the show is hey, don't be doing that. The show is different than it was before, and so I've been trying to figure out the dynamic of it. And slowly but surely, I'm starting to put it together. And because once I can figure that out, I can start to move the pieces around a little bit. And August is everybody's black auntie. You can tell, August is
I'll
America's
take
black
that.
auntie that when you're trying to tell her a story, August is trying to help you finish the story, looking up shit at the same time as she listening. Oh, did I find, you know what I this what this yeah, that is who that's who August is.
Also, so I try not to be, but I'm like, I need a visual. I need
No,
to
no,
see
no,
these
no. I
people.
like it. I said it's your. I'm figuring out the dynamic, the personalities. That's all.
You want to know why? Because as a 911 operator, it was trained that way. Because I got to get the description and I have my whole visual going. So I'm asking those questions. What's he look like? What's he wearing? How tall? Blah, blah, blah. So naturally, I can't ask you those questions. I got to be like this. So it's that 911 police training still kicking in.
I'm not mad
I
at
need to
it.
know what they look like.
I just chalked it up to you being the nosy black
But I'll be
auntie.
America's
That's
auntie.
cool. Man.
Oh, now you added nosy into it.
I was gonna
Okay,
get
and then
I'm
one
the old lady at 227, like, Mary.
there. Yes, Pearl.
We
What
are,
you-
we are.
Oh, Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, her.
What were you gonna say, Ray?
Okay. And then what am I? Am I the black auntie too?
No, sir. No, sir. I have
Damn
not laid that out just yet. It's still coming to me. But yeah, like I said, every time I have to change something, I have to figure out what the dynamics are, and then that helps me figure things out for the show. So, but yeah, it's good. That was good,
Yeah.
Ray. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very good one.
And you know what that
Salacious was
was?
right.
It was salacious.
Oh, can I tell y'all something off the
Yeah.
subject?
Well, hold on now.
You know, I
We
got
still
pulled into the
talking on the
office.
podcast.
Oh,
You want to talk about it on the podcast?
yeah, I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
fine.
All right, go ahead.
I have never been brought a sexual harassment charges. Talked about sexual harassment, some stupid shit before ever in my life until about a week ago. Okay, wasn't brought on sexual harassment charges, but someone transferred their job because of me. That's what I was told.
At
And
the
that's some
new
shit.
gig at the new
They
gig.
transferred their job because no, the plantation,
Oh,
because they were heartbroken.
yeah, but
Let me tell you that.
does that
And
count
I
as
know you ain't here, but that was really stupid.
does that count as sexual harassment though?
No, but I was like, I've never brought in the office. No, but I've never been brought into an office for something so stupid, like something like that to me. I'm like, do I have to sign something? No. Goodbye. Like, why am I here? I'm going to tell you that, but I know we're on camera now and all this, but I want to get your thoughts on that because I thought
Oh,
that
we're
was
gonna need
stupid
to
and he
talk
was a
about that when
bitch.
we off camera.
Um,
Because I want
Okay.
the tea. Okay, I want the tea.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's August's story. You want to talk about it now, or you want to wait till after the show?
No, we'll wait till after the show. I
All
should
right.
have said, look, yeah. Wait.
Sorry, people. This is what August does every once in a while. She
Yeah,
just
sorry.
teases out there. She's the auntie that flirts with your
Yeah,
friends
no.
when you bring them to the family reunion.
Is that what I do?
You'll be out
Okay.
there.
Is that what I do?
Be
Or
out
do
there.
your friends flirt with me?
Nephew,
Okay.
nephew,
Yeah.
nephew,
Do
who
your
your
friends?
friend? Nephew, okay? Who your friend? Let me go make him a
I'll be
plate,
honest.
okay?
I,
August is the auntie that
really?
she has a few too many drinks. She forgets she's your auntie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the thing. That might happen. That might happen. No.
Okay,
I should drink today. I'm trying to cut down on the
nephew.
alcohol.
Ray, what was your sources for the story?
Wikipedia, Paris is Burning, The Queen, YouTube, and yeah, those were my sources.
All right.
And from me watching the movie almost 20 years ago.
Paris, yeah.
Oh, over 20 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Good story. I liked it a lot. You guys out there who watch, you guys who are listening, I hope you guys enjoyed it. The hell is that? August, what are you doing?
Research.
I didn't think it.
Auntie is researching.
Thank you guys who watch us on YouTube. We do appreciate it. Please go ahead and give us a follow and a share. Also, for those of you who are listening to us in the podcast format, please like it, share it, follow, all that stuff. I can't even keep up with the terminology. They change it all the time. We appreciate you. It's been another episode of Murderess Podcast. We'll see you next week. Remember, be aware of your surroundings.
Oh, yeah. You see that damn Godzilla behind me? I can't stand that thing.